Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I wish to speak to all my Muslim brothers and sisters that are watching this, that are on Facebook. I usually don't do videos. I usually don't even do Facebook Live. But I felt because of the election of Donald Trump that it was important that I say something about it as a Muslim that's also involved in politics. I would like to say a couple things about it. First, I would like to go before Trump. I would like to speak about the the guilt that all Muslims in the United States are made to have for acts of violence carried out by supposed Muslims in other areas. We are told constantly to apologize for their actions. And to that I say this. The same way that we do not hold all non-Muslim Americans accountable for acts of violence against us, against Muslim men and women, Muslims should not be held accountable entirely for the acts of a few bad people who call themselves Muslims. Now, since September 11th, since 19 men decided that we're going to hijack planes and attack the Twin Towers in New York and attack the Pentagon, and only Allah knows where the other plane was going to go to. Since that day, we have been made to be afraid and feel guilt for those acts. We have then seen a war on Islam that, in my opinion, has escalated. It escalated on 9/11. But to me, the war on Islam, again, in my opinion, started all the way back at the end of World War I, with the partitioning of the Middle East. Then in the 1948 establishment of the Zionist apartheid state of Israel. This is a war on Islam. That does not excuse the terrorism and the murder and the bloodshed that supposed Muslims have caused. But there is a war on Islam. Now we come back to the presidency of Trump. Trump is not unique. Trump is the culmination of Islamophobia in this country. Remember back in 2008 when Barack Obama was running for president, there were rumors that he could be Muslim. God forbid he was a Muslim. What did Obama do? He distanced himself from those allegations. Instead of saying, I am not a Muslim, but so what if I was? He denied it. He made it seem like it was a stigma, it was bad to be a Muslim and run for president of the country. Which brings me to another point that I wanted to discuss with you. Again, all this has been observations and things I've been trying to get out for this whole election period. And with the election of Trump now, I feel like it must be said. To continue, as I was saying, there is a credible Islamic scholar, very famous in this country. I won't say his name. I was listening to a lecture that he was giving on the Trump phenomenon. And one thing that he said that really bothered me was that Muslims in this country do not consider themselves American. You are either Muslim or you are American. Whereas I have heard this, others have heard this, yes. Lots of Muslims say, I am Muslim, that's an American. But he put the blame of that entirely on the Muslims and said that it is the Muslims' fault. They are the ones that are doing this to themselves. They are the ones that are isolating themselves from the greater community. I see this as a major insult to Muslim Americans. In this country, Muslims are male, female, black, white, Hispanic, Arab, Indonesian, Malaysian, etc. They're janitors, mechanics, engineers, doctors. They are America. They are what America is supposed to be. The diversity. Supposed to be. But we have been excluded from America. And we see this now with Trump. We see this. A man that was supported by the KKK, the National Socialist Movement, the American Nazi Party, supported him. And now he has won. What does that tell you? That these people exclude others from who they feel are American. They don't see Muslims as American. Whereas, yes, to give credit where credit is due to that scholar, yes, there are Muslims that do not assimilate very well. But to put the blame entirely on the Muslim community, I think is very wrong. Now, we have 4 years, possibly 8 years, of a man who wants to put all Muslims on a registry, who wants to stop Muslims from entering into this country. Remember, refugees, not all Muslim, but he's focusing on the Muslims, that are fleeing a war that was caused by an American president from his own party, a Republican. George W. Bush in 2003 invaded Iraq under false pretenses and caused the instability that we are now seeing in the Middle East. Now, I want to end with, if I may, a couple of verses from the Quran. Again, I'm not a scholar, I'm not a sheikh, I'm just someone that needed to speak. Okay? So I'm going to read a little bit of Surah Al-Balad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت هل بهذا البلد وولد وما ولد لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا أيحسب أن لم Yarahua. Sorry about that. My computer only lets me do 5-minute videos at a time. To translate, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I do call to witness this city, and thou art a free man of this city, and the mystic ties of parent and child. Verily we have created man into toil and struggle. Thinketh he that none hath power over him? He may say boastfully, Wealth have I squandered in abundance. Thinketh he that none beholdeth him? My point in reading that surah, that piece of that surah, is that we are American. This is our country. We also have rights. And Trump is a wealthy man who now is president. But we have to keep our heads high. And we have to not allow this to make us become what they want us to be, which is the terrorists and the radicals and the extremists. We must be peaceful. We must show love. We must show them that for all that they try to exclude us, we will be part of this country, and we will live with them and live in peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.